I met a gypsy.
Was the dynamic between Ando and Coop like?
Did ever
Were
train
they ever
together?
there at the same time?
I don't
So
think
they
so.
weren't there.
Maybe a little bit. Did Jason quit training around end of 18? Oh yeah, no, 19. So it was right in between.
Yeah. I wondered if there was overlap because I feel like Coop is such like a top dog kind of energy. Like I feel like he runs off like I might be wrong, but I feel like he like has that alpha energy like all the time. And I feel like Ando sort of like has that, but not. Like he kind of wants to come across like he doesn't care a lot of times, but he kind of does as well.
No, definitely Jason. Yeah, I mean he talked about it here though about not liking training with the competition straight up, So he decided to move parts. I mean, like to move on a different building on the same property. Remember, he tried to get his bike like somewhere else to be not fully with us, but then he would still meet us and do the gym. So, dude, that was like a lot going on, and I think, dude, Alden hated it. Hated it because he had to take care of all that, and obviously, what Alden wants is just focus on the training and not have to deal with competition between us.
Yeah.
He wants us to just follow the program and be good. Sorry.
No, that's right. How hard is it to put all that aside at the races, or like does it affect you like on race day, or is it hard to race those guys the way that you maybe want to because you have to see them again on Monday?
Yeah, dude. When either Jason won on the weekend and then on Monday, on Tuesday, you see him at the track, you're like, damn it,
Yeah, fuck that guy.
Yeah, like shit, And then you beat him at the practice track, But you're like, who cares?
Yeah.
I mean, do your work and then beat him at the race.
Yeah.
So it was not easy, but at the same time, dude, we would push each other like crazy at the on the track at the practice. Just trying to beat each other during the week. That really pushed. Your heart rate goes through the roof. You push the limit, and to some point where, unfortunately, you lose a little bit of a technique. I would say, that's what I've done sometimes.
Yeah.
And that's why at some point I was like, enough. If I want to keep enjoying riding and if I want to keep racing, after my 30s, when you become like 30, like. I'm like, dude, if I want to keep going, I want to change that program, and that's why I went with DV.
Yeah, okay. And so where did you start riding, and like what did you do different when you did end up moving it out of the program?
Well, first of all, honestly, like KTM, they thought I was probably done, And then they had Webb, and then they signed AP, and they thought that was it, They didn't want to have 3 riders, and I'm like, dude, I want to keep racing. So they're like, okay, we can do a Supercross only program. So that's what we did. And then I stayed in California and trained with DV full time.
Yeah. And what was it like to change the program? Like, did you get what you wanted out of the change?
I wanted to, I don't want to say do less work, because with DV, dude, it was like the physical part, it was tough. Like the bike riding and stuff, that was pretty gnarly. But what I wanted to change is also the riding and a different perspective,
Maybe back to like
DV.
how you used to go.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
But like DV,
we can't do a race like the Gypsy 500 or really anything dirt bike related without first making an online pit stop at motorsport.com. On our YZ250 project build, we went hard in the paint for everything from our Pro Circuit pipe and silencer to our boys and reeds and everything in between. The same goes when we're getting ready to take on a huge challenge like World Vets last year at Glen Helen, and the Gypsy 500 is no different. To prep for this insane event, we need to kit out our 4 Stark Vargs with moose tubes, hand guards, and some super soft grips, as well as our sag tool and more. To get your bike or body ready to race or ride in 2024, motorsport.com should be your first destination. They have the biggest range, the best deals, and no one has more reliable shipping or better customer service. Motorsport makes it possible for us to make our crazy ideas come to life, and they can make it happen for you too. Head to motorsport.com to kickstart your riding season.
So yeah, with DV, you kind of went a little bit more old school in a way, like back to the cornfield days of more technique, more focusing on the technique.
Yeah, exactly. I really like DV's theory. Just and I learn also from what he's done with Ferrandis, with Dylan for so many years, and I started working a little bit with DV in 19.
Okay.
Actually, he came to Florida. We tried to do some work, but it didn't work out really with Alden. Even though Alden kind of let me work with DV on the riding coach, I would say. It was hard to fit in DV into my program. So yeah, at the end of the following year, I didn't even work with DV at all. It was only 19, and then end of actually 21. That's where I said stop with Alden, and then I full time with DV. So the main thing with DV is it was all about riding good before we ride fast. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it was a lot of session work, mainly whoops too, because whoops I had still some work to do, and DV was like, dude, in the whoops you have to have your finger on the clutch. I never had finger on the clutch in the whoops my whole career, besides the last 2 years. It's an unreal. Like thinking about it, I'm like, that's crazy that no one. I mean, because I had no one around me, but like really no one taught me this or like really pushed me to do that. And so I would use my middle finger to clutch everywhere on the track, but the whoops was no clutch. But DV said you have to use your index finger, like in the whoops and all the time. So to change finger,
Oh, that would be crazy.
it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
It took me at least 2 weeks to get used to it. I've had problem a little bit with the wrist and stuff. So doing that, dude, it gave me like pain in my like tendons or like muscle pain, blister on the finger, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But dude, now I can't go back to how I did it for.
I can't see how
50 years.
people ride with the middle finger. Like,
Yeah.
that to me, that seems crazy.
It's habits. Just if you
Yeah, you
if
learn,
you're
yeah,
used to it, yeah, because if I tell you to change that, then there's no way. So DV had me change that.
And so what, he just thought that you were losing drive through the whoops by not being able to like slip the clutch or
Not really, drive, but also control.
control, yeah.
That's the main thing.
Yeah. So
It's all
like you
about
just
control.
you just start spinning as you got further through the whoops or
Any situation, the finger on the clutch will help you.
yeah.
Even if you too slow or too fast, or if you go sideways, or if you miss one, DV would tell me the clutch is your friend.
Yeah.
So now I can't go back to what I'm used to for the last 20 years.
Yeah. And it was a big help, like it instantly changed the way you rode the whoops or
Yeah, I mean, I was more consistent through the whoops for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. I really wish I started working with DV in some ways earlier in my career for sure. When I remember what I've done in 18, when I come close to winning a championship, I feel like with more like technique work and stuff, I would have been better.
So when you won the championship, when you got second in the championship,
18.
Ando won the championship, and you guys were training together every weekend, or had he moved by then?
Man, I can't really remember, but I'm sure he started to move away.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we were battling. So
That would have been
man, I
pretty.
don't have that on my top of my head. I mean, I've done so many years.
Yeah, exactly. They're all, and it's the same
I
thing
can't
every
remember
single
exactly. Yeah. I mean, I remember a few things, but yeah, it's crazy.
Like, and just to think that your main guy that you're battling with the championship, like you
Yeah.
essentially work a 9-to-5 job with that dude.
Yeah. Obviously, Alden theory was to help each other, obviously, like push each other on the track. Like he would, obviously, if Dungy was like the number one, obviously, he'd be like, oh, damn, I'm helping the other guys. But then Alden will tell him like, yeah, but if those guys behind you are getting closer to you, it's going to push you, not to get beat by those guys. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
and you're like, yeah, he's not completely wrong,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
on that. But man, it's always harder when you're the best one, you know.
Yeah.
And training with other guys. So that's how Jason felt. Jason was like,
I'm bringing these guys with me.
kind of,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
Even though I could be better than Jason, you know, we were battling every weekend at the races. So he's like, I'm not gonna ride with him
Yeah.
because I don't want to helping in any ways, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think it's one hole in the program is that Alden was never a great rider.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that it's
And
not,
he'll tell you.
yeah.
He knows.
Yeah. And I don't think he ever tried to be the technique guy.
No.
Like I was never
No.
around him
When
where
he
he
knows,
was telling
then-
people how
yeah.
to ride. But I think that, like you said, you do miss having a DV
Mm-hmm.
around. But then,
But it's hard to mix everything,
yeah,
really, because I
Yeah.
tried.
yeah.
I tried and it didn't work out.
We're excited to announce the launch of our new membership site, gypsytales.com, packed with exclusive content and perks that you won't find anywhere else. This is your chance to become a part of the Gypsy Gang. And as a special bonus, if you sign up to an annual membership, you'll be entered into the draw to win our custom-built TC125. Gypsy Gang.